Hey everyone, Micah here with Electrek, and today we're reviewing the Fiido Beast, an electric scooter that converts into something of a two-wheeled electric go-kart? I don't know, come along with me, we'll figure it out. The Fiido Beast here is an enigma in the electric scooter world. At first, it looks like any other standing electric scooter designed for off-road riding. It's got big ol' wide tires, dual suspension with some slick-looking springs in the front and rear, a nice wide deck for plenty of foot space, 2 motors for a combined 1300 watts of power and all-wheel drive, and, you know, all the other trappings you'd expect of an off-road scooter. And you can definitely ride it that way, though I'll say it doesn't have quite the same off-road handling as other scooters I've tried, at least not in the standing position. But the beauty here is that the scooter does double duty, offering a seat in the form of this odd little padded square in back, so you can ride it while sitting down. The folding process is not complicated, but here's the rundown. Basically, you start at the handlebars here, you drop those down, and then you're going to lower the handlebars into the next lower position. So you open those up, we rock it down one spot. Now we've got the handlebars sort of angled here. Next, you pop a squat on this thing. And finally, you open up the foot pegs here. And now you've got yourself a form of electric go-kart, I guess. You can even go further with the angle on the bars, though it does turn the bars into more of a steering tiller that you kind of got to get used to. Right from the start, this is a super fun way to ride sitting down. It did take me a couple of minutes to get used to the odd steering sensation of having the bars so far back behind their axis of revolution, but after a couple minutes it'll just sort of click and you just kind of get it. You may need to put your feet down a few times at first to steady yourself, but that's just fine. I mean, you're like 3 inches off the ground, so you just don't have very far to go. And once you get it, oh man, this is just so much fun. The scooter gets up to around 30 miles an hour and is a blast to ride like this. As a two-wheeled go-kart, which I didn't realize was a thing until now, it combines the seated riding sensation of a cart with the angled turns of a bike or a scooter, which results in a riding sensation that is utterly unique and is also one that I really enjoy. I will say it's a bit weird being this low down, like when you see a Vespa go by and you're looking way up at the dude, you know you're practically dragging tail on the ground. But even so, the ride is just so much fun that it makes up for small issues like visibility and safety and those sorts of things. And to be honest, part of the fun here is riding in weird places, not necessarily just on the side of the road. I could easily tackle grass and dirt trails, and those wide tires make quick work of pretty much any off-road surface. Now, I did try an excursion onto the beach, but I didn't have a lot of luck in that super soft Florida sugar sand. If your beach has more packed sand, or if you stick closer to the wet stuff down by the high tide mark, you'll probably get better results. But even though sand wasn't a great option for me, everything else pretty much worked great, and the ride quality from the padded seat and the dual suspension made transitioning from various surfaces a lot more comfortable than I expected. As much as I liked the ride though, there are some improvements to be made here. Some are already on the way. The battery lid, which you can unlock to expose that gigantic 48 volt and 32 amp hour battery with 1.5 kilowatt hours of capacity, well, the lid doesn't always like to stay, closed. Here I am flying down the A1A at nearly 30 miles an hour, when suddenly that sound you hear is the battery lid shaking open. Fiido told me this is an engineering sample and that the production models won't have that issue, as they've already added an extra component to prevent that from happening. So hopefully that's the case. Then of course there are some things that are just inherent to the design, like the keypad you actually use to lock and turn off the scooter. It's the same as the one from the ill-fated Fiido X, and it's super low on the seat, which means you have to bend over and put your head upside down to see it. In fact, it's even installed upside down, since they know that's how you'll be looking at it. Hey, I love scooters as much as the next guy, but I don't normally get down on my knees to service them, if you know what I mean. So I'm not sure that's my favorite part of the scooter. But small quirks like that aside, I can tell you this thing is an absolute 100% blast to ride. Between the high speed, powerful all-wheel drive motor setup, the good suspension, quality hydraulic disc brakes, and that super long-range battery that should give you up to like 40 miles of range, well, there's just a lot to like here. There are some quirks too, and the $2,399 price tag is a bit high, though you are getting a lot of scooter in return. If you've been looking for something different, something unique, and just a total joyride of an experience, the Fiido Beast is probably it. But if you're not going to make use of the seated riding position, then you can likely do better elsewhere. Between sitting and standing, I've now discovered that sitting is where it's at.
Thanks for watching, everyone. We hope you enjoyed that review of the Fiido Beast. If you did, why don't you give this video a thumbs up? And don't forget to subscribe so you won't miss any of our future electric vehicle videos. We'll see you here next time.